How do you force yourself to be disciplined with a hectic and busy life? And most importantly, welcome to episode 800. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. And most importantly, welcome to episode 800. That is bonkers to me that we have done 800 episodes, but for the 800th time, I suppose I'm saying this, I am your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
It's amazing how time flies. Like, I remember when we first debated starting this and just kind of going back, and it's been absolutely amazing. And to me, it's really cool. The more I've advanced on this journey, the more I've realized how much more there is to unpack, how much to learn, how science has changed, how strategy has changed. And we've loved to be there for every part of it. And we love that we've been able to help so many people such as yourself become fitter, healthier, and happier. And we're just really overjoyed on this 800th episode because it's just amazing.
And I just want to say, for every person listening, the fact that you're here, or you maybe just joined us, or you've been here for the last 800, you really are appreciated. To be honest, I love to talk, and some of you probably have realized, but I probably wouldn't still be doing this if I didn't realize how much of an impact it was having on all of you. So every time you shoot us a message, you leave a comment on our podcast, you say something along the lines of, you guys are helping me, or you've changed my life. And, you know, we keep seeing the views consistently going up and up. Like, that is what gets us to keep showing up, because we know that we're having an impact. And I feel like if I can just help one person from this episode, let alone like now it's obviously thousands of people listening, we're doing our job, and we're so happy to be here, and we'll continue to be here in literally, I guess, a year and a bit, maybe 2 years, whatever the number is. We'll be at 1,000, which is going to be crazy. And we would be so appreciative for you to be along the ride with us the entire time. And most of all, of course, join us on Instagram, because that's our baby. That's where we spend so much time. That's where we post our daily thoughts. Like, I love this podcast, but the thing it's missing is like our ability to just grab the camera and share something. Whereas on Instagram, if I have a thought, I will just take out my phone and I will post it. And I think, you know, if you're not there with us on Instagram, you're missing out as well. So we appreciate you all.
Yeah, Kyle nailed it. I mean, between all our different medias, like the podcast has really felt like the baby, because it's just so nice to get on here and just to be able to chat, to talk through some fitness, to debate, to inspire. So once again, just special shout out to you being here. Just so happy to be able to do this. We won't spend too much time on this, but we want to give back. For the first time ever, we're going to open up 8 spots for our coaching. This is episode 800, and we find it's a perfect time because we are officially 7 days out for our Summer Shred Challenge. So I will coach you one-on-one, or Kyle will coach you one-on-one through this 30-day challenge and beyond. So not only can you lose fat, but you can keep it off. And we're going to open up 8 spots at a special discounted rate. And we're going to include a special bonus. We're going to include one of our brand new Colossus Fitness Crewnecks. They're plush. They are comfortable. And this is something we're going to throw in for you by signing up, investing in yourself, joining this challenge. And the great news with this challenge is we got guaranteed prizes. We got special exclusive live streams. We got so much going on, and we have $1,000 cash prize. So you can literally be coached for free, win money, win this challenge by just investing in yourself and motivating yourself to say, hey, I'm going to take this seriously. So we got 8 spots. So if you've ever been sitting back waiting for the right time, this is your time to do it. Message me on Instagram saying 800 to @ColossusFit, ColossusFit, and I will love to get you an amazing, best shape of your life and feeling incredible this summer. On top of this, because the 800th episode, at the end, I'm going to have a little trivia question. Well, not quite at the end. I'm going to sneak it in. So you got to be ready. You got to be attentive for this episode. I'm going to sneak it in. And the first person to answer us this, and it'll be time-stamped, of course, because you'll DM us on Instagram the answer, we're going to send a special crew neck to as well as a little custom message from me and Kyle, which I think will be really fun. You know what? I'll send a custom message to everyone. Me and Kyle will both send you a custom message if you can answer this special trivia question, because we'll know you've been here from the start and that you're a real one. And even if you're newer to the episode, you're a real one too, but it's just something for us to give back to the OGs. But we're going to go ahead and jump into our first question of the week. And this is a really fun one. How do you force yourself to be disciplined with a hectic and busy life? I find I struggle to do the things I know I should be doing.
And this is such a great question. I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. One of my favorite quotes, and this is a bonus quote of the episode, is "just do it," right? By Nike. I think it's such a good principle. And, you know, growing up, I used to love wearing the clothing. And then as I started to get into quotes, I listened to it and I'm like, man, I'm like, this actually means a lot. And even for myself, I feel like there's a lot of difficult moments as life just does life and gets challenging. And I just find that like one of the best things you can do for yourself, and I have it written down here just to remind myself, is think what an action will lead to, right? So I'm going to give you an example. It's so easy to go by and just do things and just kind of not realize like what it's actually kind of leading to. And so when you think about it, a strength training workout, a lot of people end up skipping it, but it gets so much easier to do when you realize the action that you have to do, what that will do in the future, right? You're going to be stronger for your kids. You're going to be stronger for your grandkids. You're going to live longer. You're going to have better bones. Like every part of your life ends up getting better. So it just makes it for me, like everything I do daily, I want it to be for a reason. And when I think about it, when it comes down to a healthy meal, I think of, okay, here's my action, here's the result. And it just makes it like I said, it's not easy because there's still always a battle, but I just find that I know what I need to do and I do the things that are going to help me in the future. And like another random example is bedtime. I've been talking to some of my clients about it, and that was actually our challenge for this past week. It's been to get to bed 30 minutes early, right? So when I think of the action, which is just simply for me getting to bed by 9:30, I know the result is going to be me waking up, feeling refreshed, having more energy, being better on the podcast, being better for my family, for my clients. And so it makes it so much easier when I want to watch a little bit of extra playoff hockey. I just cut myself off. I'm like, I know that it's going to affect me. So I think of the action and then I think of the result. And it just makes every decision I make so much easier because I actually think about these things. So if I have a million things going on and there's a lot of different family get-togethers and then there's a bunch of different work things, like it's just so much, I'm so much more clear because I've actually thought about it instead of me just being overwhelmed doing things that don't really move the needle or hanging out with people I don't really want to hang out with or whatever the case is. So I just find that when you think about it that way, it makes the whole entire journey so much easier.
Yeah, to me, when you think really why you're doing it and why it's important, and I think especially when you have massive goals, it's where people get motivated. They'll say, you know what, I'm going to lose this weight. I believe I can do it. And then they go and they sign up for a gym and they get in that gym, they crush it for a week, and then they pay that gym for 2 years, even though they only went that first week, right? And that's where I think the more you can remind yourself of that why, like Kyle was saying there, it's so powerful. And I think really going back to that, like when you have a very powerful goal, whatever it is, and even if it's something that isn't that powerful, if you're like, I just really want to look good on a beach, like that's what I really want, and it really motivates you, and that's something you've always want, you've never done, you use that fuel. It doesn't need to be something that's like truly noble, as great as that would be if it is, like the playing with the grandkids. Like, I think that's amazing. I think some people just get really fired up by basic goals, but if it works, it works. Like, you need to decide what that is for you, and it makes it easier to start those small decisions. But my biggest piece of advice with discipline is just doing it, right? Your actions need to be bigger than your feelings, because I guess it's funny I said just do it because Kyle mentioned it, but it's so easy for your feelings to like, oh, this is a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do this. Like, a good analogy, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm sure this will resonate, is like a puzzle. If you want to do a puzzle, you're like, oh, okay, I got to go get that puzzle. Hopefully there's all the pieces. I got to lay it out. I got to clear off my table. And then you're like, oh, heck, I don't want to do the puzzle. The hardest part is getting started, where if you take out that puzzle, you make the space, put that puzzle down, you make a couple pieces, you got a good shot you're going to finish that puzzle because you've seen it every day, you've started it. It's just, you've done that hard part. And most often, the most friction is just getting started with something. So even for me, when I don't want to do something, I just say, okay, I'm just going to start doing it. And generally when you do start, you build a little momentum. You're like, hey, I can do a little more. I want to get other things going. And even for me, that's like my mornings. Like, I have a cadence I like to follow for my mornings. And I find it lets me warm up. It lets me get ready for the day. And I start by just doing some basic time myself, drinking some water, getting my coffee made. I'll go upstairs and I'll journal, I'll read, I'll reflect, I'll grow. And I'll take a second, this before I look at my phone, before I do anything, I'll go grab that coffee and I'll eat the frog. We've talked about this before, but it's like doing that hardest thing. And because like I've done a couple small things that there was still friction to, like obviously like taking the second to drink my water, to journal, there are still some friction from that. But me knocking those down, it kind of builds me up into like, okay, I'm just going to do this hard thing. And then when I start my morning by doing this hard thing, it makes the rest of everything seem easy. It makes it seem more realistic, more doable. And to me, like, that makes it's just so much better. And then when you've done that too, the rest of your day, you're like, I can do hard things. I can handle this. Whereas if you wake up and you should be up at a certain time, you hit snooze again, you grab your phone, you scroll reels for 30 minutes, you're late for work, you leave, you grab junk food, and like you're just telling yourself like, I can't do hard things. And then when it comes time to go to the gym, you're gonna be like, I don't want to do it. Whereas when you just knock down these small things, like momentum truly does carry, and there'll be days you want to do it, there'll be days you don't want to do it. It's just a matter of, like I said, those actions being bigger than those feelings.
Yeah, and I feel like that early morning time is the time where like you can get a lot done. I've been seeing a lot of reels about how fathers, they'd say, hey, working out at 5 a.m. so I can be this person at 5 p.m. and they're just like swinging around playing with their kids. And I think once again, when I think of like that kind of that action leading to the result, I'm always thinking of those moments. And even recently I was talking to my client Edie. I've shouted her out a few times, but she's 4 months postpartum. I remember sending her a message at like 5 something a.m. and I was like, are we in different time zones, or like, are you up right now? And she's like, yeah, I've been getting up between 4 and 6 because I know that I can have my full time to get my workout in, having my 4-month-old at home. And I'm like, honestly, like, I love that. Like, that just is so amazing because once again, it's so much easier to kind of think of, oh, you know what, I'll do it later, and like putting things off that you should be doing. But it's just like, you know what, when you do it and you think of like what that's going to lead to, and you just kind of do the hard thing, and especially in the morning, I find, and that's where I've been spending a little bit more time so I can have a little bit more free time later on, is just like conquering it. Whether for me, it's not a workout because I'm able to get it in a really good time I'm grateful for, but it's like kind of the deeper work where I can spend time uninterrupted. For a lot of my clients, it's like those early morning workouts that they are so grateful for. And it just comes down to making that hard decision early on, so then the decisions later on end up becoming easier, and then you just have a whole day ahead of you, or like a whole night ahead of you, and you just do that hard thing, so then you can enjoy the fruits of your labor afterwards.
And we all think this, and I think we're all entitled to think this because we all have unique situations, we all have a lot going on, we all have things other people won't understand. But I think it's important to remember, like, we all have things, and maybe your situation is way worse than others. I don't know, maybe you have 3 jobs and 30 kids and you're just like especially crazy, but your reality is your reality. And I'm actually going to jump into my quote and pair it with this question because it's from Mr. David Goggins, and it is, denial is the ultimate comfort zone. So I think it's so easy to just say and put you being busyness in front of your life. Busyness is why I can't be fit. Busyness is why I can't eat healthy food. Busyness is why I've never lost weight and I'm stressed out. But at some point, you need to take ownership of that and say, yeah, I'm busy, but I need to make this a priority. I need to look for solutions. I need to find out how I can win in my own sandbox. And it might be different than someone else's. Your life might be unfair. You might have injustices. But I think it's really important you avoid that denial and you start to enable yourself and say, hey, I can see a change. I can be disciplined. Even for myself, I've had less time lately, and I mentioned this, but I've really just been making a point to say, okay, like, if I want to succeed, I need to hit my KPIs. Every single day, there's KPIs I need to do. And if you don't know what that is, it's key performance indicators. So I have KPIs for fitness. My KPIs for fitness are doing 5 good workouts at a good intensity. That's something I like to get done every single week. My daily KPI with my nutrition is my calories and my protein and my fiber. Am I hitting those objectives? If I am, check. If I'm getting those workouts, check. Am I getting to sleep? Check. I know if I do those things, I'm going to be shredded. I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to feel good. And that's what it comes down to. In my business, I know there's KPIs I need to hit. There's things I need to do consistently. I need to work with focus and not with distraction. And like, you just need to be honest with yourself. I have less time. So I'm like, this work I do needs to be deeper. No distractions, no music, no motivational videos. I'll just get done what I need to get done. I'll eat that frog and I'll work from the order of difficulty and priority and find a way to succeed through it. And like, even there's challenges. Like, for a while, my kids are waking up early and I found that time hard to utilize, but I've just thought, okay, how can I win in this time? How can I find a compromise? What works for me? And like, you have to play with things. I tried things, they didn't work, but eventually you start to find a rhythm. And if you look back and you look at schedules you have now that work, that might be atypical for most people, but they work for you. Like, I'm sure you workshop them to get there. So no matter what you have going on, no matter how slammed you feel, there's a way to do that. There's a way to get things going. And it's funny, I was actually watching The Office last night and Daryl was all upset he didn't become manager. For those of you that watch The Office, and the boss, Andy, he said, I was overlooked for this. I should have done this. And then he said, well, you were supposed to do these business school lessons and you didn't. And he said, I have no time to. And it was funny because then Andy immediately after said, well, you had time for your cooking class, for golf, and to watch every NBA game or something. I'm misquoting, but he kind of called it out. And I just think this, like, denial's ultimate comfort zone. I know these are fake characters, but he truly believed he had no time to do this course, but he prioritized other things. So you got to ask yourself, like, am I actually prioritizing in life what my true goals are, or am I not? Because if you're not, you could have an honest conversation with yourself, because you're not going to get to those goals.
I love that. And I think my biggest takeaways would just be like, write down, just do it. And then number two, just prioritize. And it's funny because the people who will sometimes be a little offended, like sometimes I'll just be pretty blunt with people and be like, oh, interesting. Especially the ones who said, I really care about my fitness. I really care about my health. I'm like, oh, so, okay, cool. Like I see what you're saying. Like, it's not a priority. And that's okay. If you were to admit and say, listen, I'm really busy. I've got a lot going on. I love doing my car stuff. I love doing, movies are my favorite thing. But right now, fitness, I just haven't prioritized it. I would have a lot more respect, even though I will disagree with you, just because I know the importance of it, than the people, because I hear it every single day. Like, I'll be somewhere and I'll give you an example. One gentleman, if I said, hey, let's get a workout in, absolutely not. And then he's saying he's trying to lose weight. But if I said, hey, let's take the cars out and go for a drive, he'd be like, okay, cool. Like when do you want to do that? Like, no problem. And the reason is because he prioritizes the cars. He spends a lot of money on the cars. He values his cars. Like, I get that. But at the same time, like, you have to be honest with yourself. And I see most people who end up saying they're too busy or whatever the case is, like, it's just usually a lie to themselves. And it just needs to mean enough to you. And when you are super busy and you have a lot of extracurriculars for your kids, and then your boss is pulling you in different directions, and then, there's like this going on and that going on, and you're dealing with something for your family. Yeah, of course, those are priorities, but you're also priority. And when you can look at it that way and say, for me to be the best version of myself, for my child, for my boss, for my friend, for my partner, whatever it is that I need to be there, you will make that a priority because you understand the importance. So I love that Josh mentioned the busyness, because I feel like I didn't touch on it enough, but it just needs to mean enough for you. You need to prioritize it, and you will find a way. So jumping into it, it's kind of fitting. My quote for today, it is simply, it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger, or you just get better. So kind of two different quotes, but it's funny because I feel like a lot of people, as the journey goes on, they feel like it just ends up being something that you just do, and it just is like so easy. But the truth is, like, the habits we've created, what we've done, what we've built ourselves up to being, like, we're just better, right? Like, I can lift a decent amount of weight, the deadlifts, I could just pull 455 no problem. And I just gotten better over time. Like, even though I'm not really deadlifting right now, I've gotten stronger over time. And like, even when it comes down to just showing up for yourself, it's not like it's easy. It's not like I wake up and I'm like, I'm so excited for the gym, or like, I'm just excited to eat healthy and have my same breakfast every day. I've just become better at making the right decisions. And that comes with time. That comes with consistency. That comes with habit building. So just know that whatever it is, whether it's like day one of your journey and you just found this podcast for episode 800, or you're listening and you've just been thinking, man, like, when is it going to feel like it's like just second nature and like the easiest thing? When it does feel like that, it's just because you've gotten better at doing things. And yeah, that's my quote for today. It doesn't get easier. You just get better or stronger.
And as we get into our thoughts, I have a question, and I want your thoughts for our comment crew. So we've done a lot of episodes, a lot of different phases of our life, but for our video gang as well, Kyle has no beard right now. He's had a beard for a very long time. He's very unsure of it. I want you to comment down below if you think he should grow the beard back or keep the beard away. And I want to see, like, let's let you guys decide. I'm putting Kyle on the spot here, but like, let's let our amazing community decide if Kyle should have a beard or no beard. So drop a comment on Spotify if you're on Spotify or YouTube. We will tally them up and we will let you know the results.
Honestly, I didn't even remember that. Like, it was funny. I went to go like bite my mustache the other day and it was like gone. I'm like, And then today, like, I was like, oh, I don't have Greek yogurt in my beard. Because I just eat so messy. But it's funny, I was like, I forgot that I don't have it. But honestly, like, fun fact, I'd say in the last 7 years, I've like maybe shaved my face twice. For a while, I just didn't like it because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm too young. And people would be like, oh, who's this kid? Whereas like now I'm like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by keeping it a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you guys say, whatever the top thing is, I will do it. Like, I appreciate you guys. So be honest with me, no beard or beard. I will do whatever you say.
This will be fun. We'll tally it up for next week. So be ready. Make sure to drop a comment. But Outside of that, obviously, episode 800, 8 amazing spots to join us for this challenge. And if you've heard us talk a lot about it and you don't know what it is, our challenges are 30 days for our clients only. The reason we do this is we want to coach you one-on-one through it. I don't want these just to be some ridiculous goals where they're going to be things you can't reach, that are unrealistic, that aren't going to help you succeed. These are designed to help you level up on your fitness journey and to actually understand in a sustainable and healthy way. That ultimately is what this is all about. It's to help you shred off fat, build muscle, build better habits, and really forge a new identity, because you might be someone who's failed every other time, who has not had the success you want, who feels you can't make it stick. But by doing this, not only with your coach, but doing this with a community behind you, like, it is everything. And the transformations we get from the Summer Shred are insane. I'm sure we'll share some from last year next week as the challenge starts. But definitely, even just for transformations in general, check out our page. So we've got 8 spots for this. Message us 800. You're going to get a crew neck. I mean, this is a hoodie, but the crew neck's even better in my opinion. I've been wearing it maybe a little bit too much. I really love it. It's super comfy. And like I said, we're going to have a trivia question a little bit later, but that's mainly where my thoughts at. Me and Kyle been shredding into this challenge. So we're looking to get absolutely dialed to look absolutely insane. And the nice part too is we've both been shredding, and I feel like it has not taken away from my life at all. And one thing I love about dieting and cutting and locking in eating good food is just the clarity you feel. You just feel like you're just marching down your objectives. You feel mental focus. You feel almost more intention in your workouts. It's kind of funny how it works, but it's just been something I really appreciated. So that's really just my biggest thought for this week.
Yeah. And even for myself, like with this, just locking in has been everything. I will say, like, if I were to give you one tip, whatever it is that you're trying to do in life, just lock in. I love that saying. I feel like it's something that's kind of come in the last like year or so, like kind of a bro-y thing. And I've seen a lot of reels on that, like lock in for the next 60 days or the next 6 months and watch your life forever change. But truthfully, like, I feel like when I locked in, it's just so much better. And obviously I mentioned like the previous week was my birthday, and there was a thought where I was just like, well, it's going to be challenging. Like, you know, my mother was asking me to go do something, and then I was having my birthday party, and then like, you know, I just was going out to a steakhouse, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, it'd be kind of nice just to just chill and not do anything. And then I locked in and I had an amazing time, and I pre-planned and I saved calories for the steak, and I ordered Chipotle, and I made a good choice to, you know, go see my mother at a spot where I knew I could comfortably hit. And I feel like so amazing from that. I feel like, you know, come Monday, if I just said, who cares, it would have been such a bad feeling. And like Josh said, like being able to still have amazing foods, being able to still make the right choices, like to me, that's what it's all about. And it's just such an amazing feeling when you say you're going to do something. Like, to me, the easiest way to lose confidence in yourself is if I were to start my camera, what I did 2 weeks ago, tell you guys I'm going to do it, be all excited about it, and then just be a bad example and just let myself go, and then have 6 pieces of cake and order to pizza and have 12 pieces and just do all this stuff that like I shouldn't be doing. Like, I'm going to lose confidence in myself. Like, I'm going to lose trust in myself. And most people will do this whole journey and they lose that confidence and trust because they say, I'm going to lock in, and then they don't lock in. And it's like, okay, well, what does your word actually mean? So very small thing, I just want to share with you. This challenge is going to be insane because you will lock in, you'll get guaranteed results. You get a guaranteed prize upon completion, which is crazy. We're going to ship it to you, which is absolutely amazing. We're going to be shipping 2 orders to you if you were to sign up now. Your shirt once you are fully finished the challenge, as well as when you sign up and you claim one of the 8 free spots, you'll also get a crew neck, as well as an opportunity to get $1,000 cash prize, guaranteed results. Like, if you're sitting on the sidelines for this, I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be an amazing time. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to have you take part as well.
Yeah, and these shirts are trophies. Our last one for our challenge winners, so everyone who completed the challenge and locked in, was earned, not given, because these aren't second place trophies. These are trophies for you accomplishing what you're doing, challenging yourself, winning, and each shirt is like a special prize to say, hey, I crushed into summer. I locked in for a month. I elevated my mindset, my physical ability, my understanding, and I invested in myself to make that happen. So once again, message us 800 to make this happen, to get an amazing deal for this. We'll know you're eligible for the hoodie if you DM us 800, and we'll begin that discussion, letting you know how we can help you and how we can get you ready to go for the challenge starting next week. Let's get it. And I want to go ahead and actually shout out one of my clients, Christi. She is killing it. She is turning 40 in under 40 days. And the reason I know this is because her husband has a countdown. He has a countdown with 40 quotes to 40. And like, I love that. I love quotes. She's like, I know you love quotes, so she had to share it. And what's awesome about Christi, I think most people would be like, hey, don't be saying my age, but Christi looks like she's 25. I think she's fitter than most, probably 99% of 25-year-olds. Like, she is killing it. And even what's amazing with her, when I started working with her, she just finished a diet. She was at 1,500 calories and 138 pounds. Since then, we've increased our strength, we've increased her muscle, we've increased her confidence, all these amazing things. And we actually have her up to 2,200 calories. So she's eating 700 more calories a day and she's lost 2 pounds. Like, taking how amazing that is. Like, what a great feeling. And if you look at her photos, she is killing it. She is ripped. She is summer ready, and she's still going to be popping off on this challenge, which is amazing. And what's so nice too, even one of my other clients this week just said, hey, I'm just nothing much to report. I'm killing it. Things are going well, but that's just who I am now. I just knock down my goals and I just keep wanting to level up. I'm obsessed with this self-growth. And like, that's amazing. When you're not struggling, you're just winning and you're just like, this is amazing. It's just abundance. It's success. And like, to me, that's where I always say it doesn't need to be hard. Like, when you have someone on your team directing you, supporting you, even Christi right now is on a vacation, having an amazing time. We have a plan for that. It's going to be a tiny hiccup in our results. It's not going to be something that we're trying to recover from for weeks. It's going to be a little blip, and she's going to be able to enjoy that vacation with total freedom and total enjoyment. Like, that's where having a coach, having someone on your side, having a support system, someone to hold you to those higher goals you have instead of you just announcing them and giving up on them, is absolutely everything. So I'd love to personally coach you one-on-one. Kyle would love to personally coach you one-on-one, and you can make that happen by DMing us on Instagram at ColossusFit, COLOSSUSFIT, saying 800 to join for this challenge. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into our second question of the week. And yeah, definitely make sure to go show some love on Christi's transformation, because she is a beast. And like I said, she's eating 700 more calories. She's lost weight and gained muscle. Like, that is the dream right there, right? And that's at 136, 2,200 calories, by the way. That's what happens when you train hard, have a good level of leanness, and you've been in the program for a while. And I'm just pumped to push into 40 with her, because she's going to be unstoppable.
Especially when you know you're doing the right stuff, it makes it so much easier. Like, most people we talk to, they're kind of questioning, like, oh man, like, should I do a cut? Should I do a bulk? When to increase my calories? Like, everyone says, oh, I can do it on my own, but then they just don't, because it's like, there's so much misinformation out there. You don't know if like what you're doing is actually right. But for Christi and every one of our amazing 5,500 people in the last 11 years, they know there's an action plan. They know everything's for a reason. And even having Josh's reassurance, like, I've done a lot of reverse diets. I've done some different, like, so many different phases with people, but when they have some sort of, like, let's just say question, or like, I've had clients who have been like, are you sure this is working? I'm not like sure about this. Or like, I saw the scale go up. Like, it's so hard to commit to something when you don't know if it's for sure for you. Whereas Christi, it's like, I know when I go off on vacation, this is the right action plan. I know I'm set. I know I'll be set when I come back. I know Josh has me taken care of. And it just makes it so much easier to know that you can trust someone. Whereas 99% of people are using like a random thing online and just, what's my calorie intake? Like, using a calculator, thinking that's going to solve them. And they're like, why am I not succeeding? So do not miss out. Please message us 800. We do not typically have an offer like this. Like, we will not have any sort of great deal like this. I promise you, when you come in here, you'll be so happy. Shout out to you, Christi. We're so proud of you as well.
And now for our second question, quite simply, and I think this is very relevant to everyone after the Easter weekend. Should you work out when you're sick?
Yeah, and this is a great question. I've been thinking about it a lot, because to be honest, most of the time I push through. But it's funny, even a couple weeks ago when I was talking to Josh, he was like, hey bro, like, it'd be probably a good idea. Like, I know the exact sickness you're going through. Like, just take the day. We'll be back tomorrow. And I'm like, man, that was such a good tip. Once again, having someone who actually, like, I've had a few conversations with my clients this past week, and it's funny because sometimes they get in their head thinking they're going to lose progress. Like, even my client Mitch today, I said, bro, we're all good. Here's what we can control. Here's what we can focus on. It makes them feel so much better, instead of being like, I'm wasting a week, or like, I'm going to go backwards. They're like, hey, I know, like, you just need that reassurance often, right? And that's where Josh helped me out. So my main thing, because I've had a lot of random sicknesses over the last 15 years of working out, I typically will ask myself, will this make me feel better or worse? And I know, because there's been many of these times, I have gone and done a lot of workouts where it actually made me feel worse. And I know my body, I know my mind, I know exactly what's going on. I've done a lot of workouts where, maybe I had a bit of a sniffle and I felt so much better after. I needed that movement. I needed a walk. I needed a run. I needed a lift. I've had times where, my stomach was killing. Like I, vomited, and then I ended up like pushing myself to go to a run because I was training for a marathon. It was so much worse, right? So asking yourself that simple question, you won't always get the answer right, but it makes it so much easier. But typically speaking, if it's above the neck, like a runny or stuffy nose, anything like that, even like a light headache, you should be pretty solid to do it. Like that's just a general rule of thumb. And then anything below the neck, such as like a fever, body chills, vomiting, things like that, you should likely stay away from it and just take some time to relax. And that's going to be my answer for that amazing question.
Yeah, a lot of the time I used to want to like push through everything and just be like, oh, I'll just get through it. I'll tough it out. But a lot of the time I love one thing that's always stuck with me is one step backwards, two steps forwards. And when you're beat up, when you're dead, it's like, okay, I'm going to take this rest day and I'm going to feel better because of it, right? And I think you got to know when to do that, especially with sicknesses that really dehydrate you. It's really hard if you're actively working your muscles through that. And I think just having that foresight to be like, okay, this isn't going to be a beneficial workout, even knowing you have days later in the week. And sometimes even if it's missing a workout in the week, right? It's making intelligent decisions, and the below the neck rule is so good. Like it's honestly just the best and simplest way to do it. Another thing for me is like really make sure if you are sick, you're like wiping everything down and you're washing your hands before and after your workouts, because you don't want to be just passing around just because you got to get that lift in. But if it's within reason and you can control that and you can get in there and get that done, a lot of the times too with sickness, like things that will slightly boost up your immune system are beneficial to you. So running through a workout, going on a light walk, like these will go a long way. And that particular sickness I had was horrible in the winter, and it was really in my lungs and my breathing, and especially in the winter, like the cold air can be really good for your lungs actually. And I think in general, like little things like that, it's tempting also to lie around and do nothing. I'm not saying go out and do 10, 20,000 steps, but even if you get out on a little 5-minute walk in fresh air, like that is something that's going to go a long way. And one thing I always like to say too is if you're sick and you're like, hey, I'm not going to the gym, people say, okay, whatever, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to use it like some kind of like, it's like I don't know what it is, right? But instead you can just say, okay, I'm going to eat the best food possible. I'm going to do everything I can to support myself, to heal the best I can, to get a good sleep, to put myself in a good position. So I like to reframe and say, okay, I'm going to take that challenge of where I'd be in the gym, use it elsewhere. You could use it to get caught up on some things, to maybe understand it's your body telling you, hey, like you got to take a step back, cool down, relax, get some rest, recover, and then let's get back to it.
Yeah. And two of my biggest rules with my clients when we're dealing with this, like after we've decided whether we're going to work out or not, or, jump back into the next week, like we always make that decision that makes sense for them. But number one is just utilizing that time wisely, right? And like Josh said, thinking of it as a positive, like, okay, and I always find something. Like I'll talk to a client and be like, okay, what are we missing? And they're like, oh, well, I haven't meditated for a while. I still needed to take care of this one thing at my house that I haven't done. And, and then also I haven't meal prep for the week, right? And obviously some cases like you can't move and like you don't want to do anything, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of times where you're like, hey, I can still do something, to a lesser degree. I just can't exert myself. I can't like go lift hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, right? And then my other thing is always, when you come back from it, don't beat yourself up. Don't be a hero. You may be using a bit less weight, ease back into it. Like the amount of conversations I've had with some people who are like, I feel horrible. Like I feel weak and low energy. It's like, just get back to it, ease yourself into it, and you'll feel so much better. But don't think, oh, well, last week I was benching this and I should be here. When you think about it, you were dehydrated, your body wasn't functioning proper for a couple of days, you likely had less food. Most people end up having less protein if they can't really stomach it, if it's like deeper stomach issues. So just stop being so hard on yourself. It's just a blip in the journey. It's all good. Take care of yourself and you'll be back to it in no time.
All right, it's trivia time. Okay, first person to message us on Instagram is timestamp. So as soon as you hear this, if you know the answer, boogie over, because you're going to get the sweater. You're going to get a sweater for answering this. We're going to ship it to you. All the cost is covered. And for everyone else who answers after, you're going to get the prize of me and Kyle hitting you up the voice note, telling you a winner, and thanking you for being an amazing listener. Okay, where was the weird place we used to film our podcast when we started podcasting. This is a question OGs will know because we talked about this quite a lot. So once again, where was a weird place we filmed their podcast when we started podcasting? I'm looking forward to whoever wins here. I think this will be a lot of fun, trying to do some extra little bonuses and goodies for episode 800. But now we'll jump into our third question. When I've hit my calories and protein for the day, is it best for me to fill up the rest of my day with carbs or fats?
Yeah, and this is a great question. So long story short, the way that we look at it is that the most important thing for nutrition will be your calories, right? If you are not hitting your calories, whether you're trying to bulk up or lean down, like you're just missing out. You could keep really good track of your macros, like your protein, your carbs, and your fats. But if you're not hitting your calories, it's not going to work, right? Next up, we need to make sure that we're hitting our protein intake. This is an absolute must, right? If you're about 160 pounds, we should be in and around the range of 160 grams of protein. And that is super important. We could be at 150, we could be at 170. There's no perfect answer, but I'd say roughly aiming for 1 gram per pound is perfect. Now, this is where a lot of people say, well, what do I do with the other calories? I've heard carbs are bad for me and fat's also bad for me, which are both complete myths that have been busted. And people get confused. I have a lot of discussions where some people are like, their protein's so high, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm going to have a lot higher fat because like keto is better for me. And then they have a lot of beliefs of things, like misconceptions within it. And I would say the answer for this is making sure your calories are in check, your protein is in check, and then your carbs and fats are whatever your lifestyle entails, like whatever numbers you want them to be, I'm totally cool with. Now, obviously there's some rules to it. If your fat intake is 20 grams of fat, that's just not good for you. It's not good for your hormones. It's just not ideal at all. So we need to be careful of that. Otherwise, everything else is totally fine. Like if you do want your carbs to be on the lower end, like let's just say more into ketosis, like 20 to 50 grams of carbs, and you want to be super low, the only downside is that most people will feel less energy. There's a lot less room for being able to have more fun foods, and you have to be so strict on what you can consume if you were to go out to eat or if you were to go have some food somewhere else. Like it gets so challenging. And then also when you start to incorporate carbs back afterwards, it becomes very challenging. But like what I love about it is there's freedom, right? So if like, and I've done different phases. I've done phases where my fat like right now is like close to 130 grams of fat, and my carbs are like lower 200s. I love it. I love the foods I'm having. I enjoy it. I can have granola. I can have some guac. Like it's awesome. And I've done phases where I've been 450 carbs and like 60 fat or something like that, right? Something crazy, and both work. It's just more of a personal thing. You can switch it day to day. If one day you're having Italian food and like it's more carbs and you want to have that, you can do it. That's what's cool about the freedom formula, and what we believe in is there's no right way to do it. It's more of a puzzle of how to make it work. And that's my honest answer for this question.
I think you could drop the mic there. I don't have too much to add. Like I would literally say the same thing verbatim, but I just want to wrap up today's episode by saying we're so thankful for you for listening to this, for wanting to grow, for being an amazing person and allowing us to be able to do this. I think is absolutely amazing. Just super appreciative of 800 episodes, a lot of goodies on this one. We got trivia question. We got Kyle, should he keep his beard shaved or should he grow it back? And the most importantly, DM us 800 to join our challenge. Do not miss out on this next week. $1,000 grand prize, 30-day challenge, 90 days of coaching. You're getting support during and after this. Like, it's a no-brainer, and you're getting a Crewneck with it too. So definitely do not miss out on that. Head over to Instagram, DM us 800. I can't wait for you to join and feel the best you've ever felt this summer. Peace out.